Good morning, students. Hope you all are fine. We are meeting after a long span, and today I am starting revision of Indian economy, Indian economic development. That is another book, Macro, I have revised, and I hope that you all must be revising with me. So today I am starting first chapter, that is Indian economy on the eve of independence. On the eve of independence, in the year 1947, when there was we were facing all Indians were facing colonial exploitation, and under British rule, what was the condition of our agriculture, our industrial sector, our demography. So we'll discuss under each point what was our condition at that time. So first point is colonial exploitation of agricultural sector. Agriculture was exploited under Jamidari sector. And what was the Jamidari system at that time? Jamidars were declared as owners of the soil. They were to pay a fixed amount of tax to the state or to British government, and they were free to extract as much as they could from the poor farmers, from the tillers. The tillers of the soil, who were actual cultivators, they got bare minimum for their survival. They were left with no surplus to invest in agriculture, to improve agriculture. And Jamidars, on the other hand, spent their revenue income on the luxuries of life. Little or no investment was made for the development of agriculture. It was the condition of agriculture at that time. Then colonial exploitation of industrial sector. Prior to British rule, industrial sector in India was well known for its handicrafts. Our handicrafts were worldwide famous at that time. Before that, Indian handicrafts enjoyed a worldwide reputation for their variety and quality, but these were totally destroyed by the British government. How? In two ways. First, foreign demand for the Indian handicrafts was destroyed by way of heavy duty on their exports, and domestic demand for the Indian handicraft was destroyed by way of duty-free import of British goods in Indian markets. कि जो यहाँ से हैंडीक्राफ्ट दूसरे कंट्रीज़ में हम लोग एक्सपोर्ट करते थे, उसके ऊपर हैवी टैक्स लगा दिया गया ताकि वो एक्सपेंसिव हो जाएं और उनकी मार्केट डाउन हो जाए. दूसरी तरफ जो ब्रिटिश गुड्स इंग्लैंड से यहाँ पर बनकर आ रहे थे हमारी मार्केट्स में, उनको फैलाने के लिए उनको चीपर कर दिया, उनको ड्यूटी फ्री कर दिया ताकि उनकी मार्केट एक्सपेंड हो सके और हैंडीक्राफ्ट की मार्केट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो जाए धीरे धीरे. इस तरह से उन्होंने डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया. देन कॉलोनियल एक्सप्लॉयटेशन ऑफ इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड. India's international trade was exploited through discriminatory tariff policy. Tariff means taxation policy. It implied duty-free export of Indian raw material to fulfill the industrial needs in Britain. यहाँ से रॉ मटेरियल बहुत चीप रेट पर हमारी लेबर से प्रोड्यूस करा के वो ब्रिटेन में एक्सपोर्ट करते थे, उसको ड्यूटी फ्री कर दिया ताकि वो सस्ता रॉ मटेरियल उन लोगों को अवेलेबल हो सके. और ड्यूटी फ्री इम्पोर्ट ऑफ ब्रिटिश गुड्स टू एक्सपेंड डिमांड फॉर ब्रिटिश गुड्स इन इंडियन मार्केट्स. इट वॉज ओइंग टू discriminatory tariff policy. So, owing to its colonial exploitation, Indian economy became both stagnant as well as backward. So, now we'll discuss which were the features of Indian economy on the eve of independence. First feature is stagnant economy. Stagnant means without growth. On the eve of independence, Indian economy was completely a stagnant economy. It is one which shows little or no sign of growth. Between 1860 to 1925, growth rate of per capita income was as low as 0.5% per annum. And between 1925 to 1950, it was just 0.1%. It's so low. On account of the stagnation, bulk of Indian population lived in poverty. Standard of living was extremely poor and miserably low. So epidemics and famines was a recurring phenomena. बार बार अकाल पड़ते थे, भुखमरी, इस तरह के attacks population पर बार बार होते थे due to poverty and due to natural calamities. So it was a major feature of our economy on the eve of independence that it was quite stagnant without any sign of growth. Rest of the features we'll explain on tomorrow. That's all for today.